I was 200 miles into a 240-mile bikepacking trip across Florida when I stopped and asked myself, what if I had to do this by foot? It seemed like such a ridiculous idea at the time because my legs were on fire and my ass was so sore from being in the saddle for the past 2 days. I then thought to myself, why would I even do that? If getting across Florida took 3 days of biking and camping, then how long would it take by foot? Under 3 days, 67 hours to be exact. I found this out about 18 months later when Matt Clapper and I were taking on the Across Florida 200-mile ultramarathon, which is arguably harder than my bikepacking trip because the terrain was difficult and could only be covered by foot. But back to my bikepacking trip. I was laying in my tent that second night, hours after I had scoffed at the idea of running across Florida, when I stopped and I asked myself, how would I do it? That was the moment I believe I unlocked the mindset that has led me to running and subsequently filming these ultramarathons I do, and why I continue to seek out harder and harder events. Once I stopped questioning why would I do this and started asking myself, how do I form and execute a plan, is when I took my first steps into my ultra endurance journey, and has led me to discovering the impact that taking on harder and harder challenges has had on not only running, but in my everyday life. I truly believe you have to take on difficult and seemingly impossible tasks in order to grow as a person. Not just a runner, not just an athlete, but in every aspect of your life. Sign up for that race everyone says is too difficult. Apply for that job your coworkers say you're not qualified for. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Your friends will try to bring you down. Your family may even try to dissuade you. It may be because they don't realize that we all are capable of doing the seemingly impossible. It also may be because deep down they want you to fail to make themselves feel better for not going out and trying. Your coworkers that dissuade you from applying for that manager's position may just be afraid of failure themselves and are projecting their insecurities on you. That friend that says you're not ready for your marathon in a few months may be afraid to see someone they deem weaker than them beat their time. No matter what anyone says, good intentioned or malicious, the best advice I can give you is do this for yourself. Accept that there'll be negative thoughts and even words thrown your way, and celebrate in private when those words start to die down and eventually cease after you accomplish these incredible tasks. If I haven't yet convinced you to go out and start taking on some difficult challenges, I'm hoping to do so now. There are many reasons why challenging yourself is beneficial and even crucial, but these are the ones that I think have the largest impact on personal growth and mental health. The confidence you gain from overcoming difficult obstacles and challenges will lead you to go and seek out harder challenges, which leads to more confidence, which leads to greater challenges. You get it. In running or endurance sports, the path is very clear. You do a 5K, then a 10K, a half marathon, maybe even ultra. We finish each distance and have the confidence and skills it takes to go and take on that next challenge, whether it be a farther distance or faster times in your current distance. Each step is a learning experience filled with lessons and measurable progress in order to guide you to that next challenge. But for work and personal life, this may not be as clear. I'm an engineer by profession, and I reached a point in my career where I could only drive so much change and make so much impact on my projects as an individual contributor. In order to enact the change that I wanted, I realized that I had to go out and apply for this managerial position where I would have the power and the authority to make these changes. No pressure, right? I got the experience. All I need to do is apply, interview, get the job, and execute. But being a manager comes with certain responsibilities. You have a team to lead, which means collectively celebrating all their victories, but then also taking personal responsibility for any failures. It's a high-risk, high-reward position, which punishes challenges just as much as rewarding them. But to grow in my career and to afford all the bullshit that I review on this channel, I knew this was my next challenge that I had to take on, which leads me to the point that we need to take on increasingly difficult challenges in order to continue gaining that confidence. It's nice to have a row of 5K ultra medals on your wall, but are you racing or are you participating? Do you find your races difficult anymore? Or are you only there for the selfie and the 5-part Instagram post of how you had to overcome the adversity of the aid stations only having hammer gels? Ugh. Part of me doesn't want to go out and race these races as hard as I do. I didn't want to become a manager. But there is comfort in complacency, and in order to grow and become stronger people, we need to put ourselves in challenging and very often uncomfortable situations. Have you heard of imposter syndrome? It's the feeling that we don't deserve our position or praise we get for our work. I often feel like my manager is going to realize that I'm not good at my job and not qualified for my position. I often feel like you guys are going to realize that I suck at running and that I make terrible videos. But that's right where I need to be, because I know what I'm doing is difficult, I know I'm being challenged, and I know that this is the path I need to take in order to be better at work, to make better videos, and to be a better runner, and to be a better person. If I found everything easy, then I wouldn't be challenged enough, and I would fall into that trap of complacency. And when you're complacent, it's easy to think that you have it all figured out and that you've challenged yourself enough. There are always race days where I feel like I'm the toughest guy out there. I've trained, I've eaten right, I've made inspiring YouTube videos about why you should go out and challenge yourself more. Fast forward a few hours and my ass is getting kicked, fueled by overconfidence, hubris, and sometimes just plain bad luck. While it may suck to get my ass kicked and realize I'm not as tough as I thought, once the pain wears off, my wounds are bandaged, I sit back and I realize that I couldn't have received a better gift. Being humbled is one of my favorite parts about taking on difficult challenges, especially racing, because it motivates me to come back, train harder, plan better, and give the best version of myself that I can give. There will always be someone out there faster, smarter, more qualified, more motivated to go and get the things that you want. Revisiting the topic of complacency, if you're not out there constantly challenging yourself, don't expect to become faster, stronger, smarter, and especially don't be surprised when that person out there takes the things that you want, that you were aiming for, because they were out there working hard while you were kind of taking it easy and being complacent. Try to be that person with the target on their back that everyone is out there trying to compete with. Be the one that disheartens their peers when you show up for that job interview and they see you and they know that, damn, that's the guy that's getting the job. I should have prepared harder. But also realize that you're going to be on the opposite end, gunning for that person, feeling inadequate more often than not. But don't let that discourage you. Let that motivate you. Being humbled may be what you need to drive yourself toward being your best, because for me, being humbled taught me that it's all right to fail. I hate that the word fail has such negative emotions attached to it. If we succeed 100% of the time, we are either the very best at what we do, or we're not challenging ourselves enough. And to tell you the truth, I've failed in most of the races that I've competed in. I set goals for my races, and I rarely achieve my A goal, falling back on my B or C goal, and sometimes being happy I could just drag my ass across that finish line. Setting these extremely difficult goals for myself means that I often need to do every single thing right, but it also means when I fail, I need to take account of what I did wrong and learn from that experience in order to not fail the next time. Sure, I'm disappointed in failure. I hate failing. It pisses me off. But with each failure comes valuable lessons that I can apply the next time when I'm facing that same challenge. To put it bluntly, you need to be ready and even accepting of when that failure comes to you. Fear of failing is natural, but you should be more worried about the fear of complacency and mediocrity. This one may be a little controversial, but I believe we all have an innate need to be challenged in order to have a sense of fulfillment. A sort of instinct and drive to face challenges, to overcome them, and to be successful. And if we don't have these challenges in our lives, we sometimes concoct adversaries in order to fill that void. Let me give you an example. Go open up your Facebook or Twitter right now. Right now, go look at it. Identify your friends and your coworkers that seem to be the most vocal online and always seem to have a challenge of the week that they're trying to champion. Do we all have that uncle that posts pro-Trump articles and memes, or is that just because I'm from Florida? Do they seem like they have challenges and ambitions in their lives, or are they choosing these minor issues to give them a paper tiger to conquer? I'm not saying that everyone who is passionate and advocates for a cause online is just some kind of armchair warrior that doesn't have any challenges or passion, but when I see Aunt Sally post a multi-paragraph dissertation on the injustices of why the lines at Chick-fil-A are too long, then I wonder if she needs a little more positive diversity in her life. Challenges keep us sharp, and choosing difficult and relevant challenges not only makes an impact in our lives, but it could make a positive impact in someone else's life. At work, I'm constantly making sure that my team has what they need, and I'm trying to make sure that they have the tools that they require in order to further their career and to achieve their goals. My daughter is having some pretty bad behavioral issues at school right now, so I'm making sure when she gets home, she has the attention and the physical outlet she needs in order to be the best version of herself. My point is, I know this is pretty much a fitness channel, but we don't need to fill our lives with physical challenges all the time. Just giving your job, your family, your friends the best version of yourself, that's a challenge all on its own, and that's a righteous challenge. Don't feel like you need to go out and run a marathon or run 100 miles to have a sense of fulfillment. No, just be the best version of yourself you can be and take on the challenges that are important to you in your life. Life can just feel like a challenge all on its own, but I bet you if you go out and you give the best version of yourself, you will feel an incredible sense of fulfillment. And again, you don't need to go out and run 100 miles. Play with your kids for an extra few minutes a day. Do that one thing on the honey-do list you've been putting off for weeks. Text your wife that you love her. These challenges don't have to be gigantic. They can be minor things. For some people, this may mean just getting out of bed and taking a shower. My point is, only you know what your challenges are. And no matter what your challenge is, just give your best, give your all, and be 100% there for it. To summarize this whole video, I believe we should be challenging ourselves in every aspect of our lives, trying to be the best versions of ourselves and living up to our potential. We won't always succeed and we'll often fail, but we're going to learn from our experiences, come back stronger, smarter, and ready for victory. And when we achieve victory, we'll set our sights on that next challenge, because I can tell you from experience, there will always be that harder race or better job out there waiting for us, whether we like it or not. Before I leave you, I want to let you know that it's okay to be stressed and have feelings of inadequacy from time to time. I go through this quite often, but I keep pushing through and I keep focusing on my goals. If you're feeling down, please reach out to friends, family, or professional services. I'm an advocate for the group Bigger Than the Trail, so I encourage you to check them out, but mental health doesn't have to be attached to an organization. It can be a 5-minute phone call, a quick text, a short conversation. You have people out there that really care about you, and I ask that you take care of yourself, but also check on your friends, check on your family. They may be going through something and just don't know how to start the conversation. I really hope you guys are doing okay, and I just want you to know that there is no challenge in life that you can't overcome, especially with a strong support system. Thanks for watching, everyone. I plan to continue making videos with my thoughts and tips on ultra endurance events, so if you like this video, please consider subscribing, give the video a like, give it a share. If you don't want to do that, I'm just happy you stuck with me this long, and I really hope the information I provided in this video helps you out with your next event, your next job, whatever in life, the next challenge you're gonna take. And please let me know down in the comments what challenges or adventures you guys are planning. I always love hearing about your challenges. I always love hearing what you guys are doing next, and I may even join you on some of those challenges. Again, thank you for watching. Now, enough of me. Let's get out there and do something amazing.